One of the things I really appreciate about my work is that everybody's journey is different. And I could have 60 people in a room and support all of them in basically clarifying their own conversation with themselves so that whatever journey is theirs to have, they're having it in that clarified space rather than having it in the muddiness of all of the conversations we have out there that I think are largely a distraction from this. We have 1,000 conversations about mental health, about trauma, about modernism, about systems change, about the patriarchy. And many of these conversations, there's pieces of them that touch things, of course, that have a lot of merit. But most of them are really places where we can go and feel a kind of communion with other people because we feel so alone. And we want this kind of shared conversation because we feel so alone. The systems change we're talking about is often just rearranging the furniture, but not really, really touching aliveness as the central commodity in the room. It's still being seconded. And the places that we're escaping are all everywhere. And the places that we're compensating are all everywhere. And so the idea here is really to take people out of that collective compensation and bring them squarely in the center of their own field of existence and have them not leave that seat because you're not supposed to leave that seat. Once you get there, you're supposed to sit there and hold the tension if what you want to occur is not on the table. So there's a whole clearing that will happen in here. This year, I really intend for this to create a lot of intimacy. So for people to really be working in these small cohorts and get to know each other through this work and through showing up in a different way, like not showing up in the familiar defensive structures, but really coming in clean and endeavoring to pause until that truth is really present. When I listen to the field and when I am really deep with the field, it appears to me and I experience it as two things that are both the same. One is that it feels like an ocean with many different waveforms, and the other is that it is a symphony. And I have experienced that each one of us has our own specific signature and tone within that symphony. And that it is really for us to come here and play that music. And that music is born so deeply out of a devotion to love. I'm not giving you an experience. It's about conveying the field and the game board and the game so that you can have your own experience, the experience you really want to be having, not the one you've learned to settle for. And when I think about the conversations about spiritual emergence and awakening, there's a whole other piece there about getting stuck in a chronic dark night or like not finishing your awakening because the convergence of these two bodies of reality really do bring together two completely different levels of physics. And so you have to know how to navigate not just the psychology or orientation or perceptual changes in that, but the actual physics changes in that. And I haven't met very many people who know how to get through that full arc. Most people make it through a piece of it, and then they bring in some sort of compensatory structure to make it good enough. This is exactly what happens in addictions and eating disorders too, is you make it kind of part way and it's like, oh, there's nowhere else to go. No one's showing you that there's a world beyond these things. And so this body of work is about the whole fucking world that exists beyond this narrow shit that we are thinking is reality.